What if I told you that the slowest player in the NBA is also one of its greatest?
Obviously, I'm not the fastest guy out there.
Luka Dončić, a European MVP at just 19 years old, came over to the United States and has been dominating the NBA ever since. From leading the league in scoring, 5 straight All-NBA first-team selections, to carrying his Dallas Mavericks all the way to the finals, there's almost nothing left for him to prove. But how is it someone this slow, who plays in the almost exact opposite way of every other NBA star, is so unstoppable? And how did this random kid from a small country in Europe develop into becoming potentially the greatest player in NBA history? Well, to understand that, we have to go back to Slovenia in the early 2000s. Luka Dončić was born on February 28, 1999, to his father, Sasha, a professional basketball player, and mother Miriam, a beauty salon owner. From the moment he arrived into the world, Luka was surrounded by the game. Whether it was attending his father's matches or watching his godfather, Rashon Nestorovic, play in the NBA, it's no surprise which sport the young Dončić began to fall in love with.
Honestly, he was playing with basketball all of his life. Since he was 1 year old, when he started to walk, he was playing with the ball.
When he was a little kid, he came to my games and he watched it. And he hardly waited till we finished first half. Immediately after that, he took a ball and he go and shoot to the basket. He was maybe 2.5, 3 years old. He started to play basket.
But it wasn't just Sasha or his godfather who Dončić idolized.
Obviously, Spanoulis, he was a legend. I always admire him, you know, he was a great leader. One of the clutchest guys ever. He was really clutch, but just his game, you know, he was amazing.
Llevo el 7 por Spanoulis, porque de pequeño siempre ha sido mi ídolo y por eso llevo el 7.
Whether it was Spanoulis or one of his father's young teammates, Goran Dragic.
When he was older, like 8, 7, he would be a ball boy or come watch the game. So here you can see, you know, we were a champion, yes. And Luka is right there.
Luka, thanks to his idols, truly fell in love with the sport. Yet it wasn't the only one he participated in growing up.
I think playing football helped me with my footwork. You know, you can take some steps out of those sports.
However, basketball was always a young Luka's one true love. By the age of 7, Dončić began to train with the youth division of his father's current club, KK Olympia. Yet, Luka ran into a serious problem.
When he started practicing then basketball, first coach, he said after, I don't know, 1 minute, please go with the older guy.
He was too good for the kids his age. And when playing against others who were 2, 3, or even 4 years his senior and double his size, Luka Dončić had a secret weapon that still allowed him to dominate.
Try to win every game that he played. If the outcome wasn't a win, it was a very emotional moment for him.
Big basketball intelligence. I saw that very early.
A competitive spirit, which, when combined with his elite feel for the game,
Court vision is something something I even had when I was little. You know, I saw what people are gonna do, how they're gonna guard me, and where the passes go.
Saw Luka destroying everyone in Slovenia. Therefore, his father began seeking opportunities outside of their home country to ensure that his son remained feeling challenged.
After one conversation with Nikola Mirotic, he explained me how they are doing this in Real Madrid, and after that I was 100% sure that this is the good team for him. And
Pablo Sanuda, the Real Madrid youth coordinator, would invite this allegedly gifted child to represent his club at their upcoming Mini Copa tournament. And what this Slovenian kid did truly shocked everyone. As at just 12 years old, Luka, thanks to a 20-point performance, had led Real to destroy their rival club, Barcelona, in the championship game. However, it wasn't this performance which sealed his fate. No, That would happen just weeks later at a tournament in Rome. As playing in the under-13 Liga Roma tournament final, Luka didn't just have a solid 20-point outing. No, he literally destroyed every poor 12-year-old kid in front of him with his insane basketball IQ and unrelenting will to win. Dončić had ended this game with not just another championship trophy, but having dropped a 54-point triple-double. He was 12. I don't think I scored 54 points in a whole season when I was 12. I guess that's why I'm making YouTube videos. However, despite being offered a chance to join Real Madrid's club full-time, the young Luka was afraid to leave home.
When he came there, it was so hard. Probably he would leave. But he liked basketball so much that no, I need to survive.
To make matters worse, after he ultimately decided to move to Spain, he was alone.
First, let's say like first 3-4 months, it was really tough. I didn't know nobody. Actually, I almost didn't speak English either. Like, I just know how to say hello, how are you, with that stuff. Nobody spoke my language. I didn't speak Spanish.
But while Dončić didn't speak either English or Spanish, there was one language he understood: basketball. Once again representing Real Madrid at their under-14 mini Copa tournament, the shy kid from Slovenia let his mind-blowing passes and incredible ability to find openings to score do all the talking. After leading his new club to another mini Copa title and spending time learning from all the amazing coaches,
Quarterfinals or around 16, we were up by like 30 at halftime, but I was bullshit a little bit.
No.
He yelled at me. He made me cry. I'm like,
At halftime?
yeah, I think everybody needs it.
Yeah.
To be like a really good player, you need the guy like that to tell you everything, especially coach.
and professionals inside the Spanish powerhouse, the newly dubbed Wonder Boy was ready for an insane opportunity.
I debuted when I was 16. I was shaking. I still remember the moment.
Stepping out onto the court as the youngest member of Madrid's senior men's team in club history, Luka would continue to shock everyone. But it was in the following 2015-2016 season, after Dončić led Real's under-18 side to yet another championship, where everything began to change for the teenage Slovenian. As thanks to the guidance of his new coach, Pablo Lasso,
yeah, I think I'm really young, but I think Pablo is a great coach and he trusted me.
who was slowly molding the Wonder Boy into becoming a world-class point guard,
Make Luka understand what he has to do, okay? Not only just playing basketball, making sure that the team is on the same page. And I think that's a great thing about Luka, to not only being a great basketball player, but also be a guy who can lead the team.
Dončić began to see the floor more and more for Madrid. By the time the following 2016-2017 season had rounded out, Luka had not only appeared in every single EuroLeague game, but even managed to start in 15 of them at just 17 years old. However, everything wasn't all positive for Luka Dončić. As after making it all the way to the EuroLeague Final Four, Madrid, partly due to Luka's failure to make a single one of his shots during their semi-final, had been eliminated by the Jelko Obradović-led Fenerbahce. But it just got worse, because shortly after this tragic failure, Dončić would then contribute poorly during the Spanish League finals, shooting just 44% from the field as Real was demolished 3-1 by Valencia. Perhaps he wasn't actually cut out to dominate in Europe like many believed he could. Or maybe he was. September 3rd, 2017. Luka Dončić, who again, despite his youth, had been named to the Slovenian men's national team to help try and guide his country alongside teammate Goran Dragic to their first ever EuroBasket title.
And he was 17, and just watching him at practice, oh my God.
Yeah.
He would make some passes that I don't even know how he was doing that. And his IQ was so good at 17. Is like, I knew it. The only thing I kind of questioned a little bit was his speed and everything for the NBA.
Yet, while Goran questioned how slow Wonderboy played, it was actually done on purpose by Dončić.
I mean, for me, sometimes it's like playing a chess, you know. You got to take your time and see the moves. But, you know, obviously, I'm not the fastest guy out there. So maybe that's why I play at my own pace. But, you know, you got to just see what's the defense doing and find the best shot.
Pace, which allowed the Slovenian rising star to not only score 22 points against Greece, but lead his team to a 5-0 record, which included a win over powerhouse France in pool play. However, after defeating Ukraine with ease in the round of 16, their toughest opponent yet awaited. The led Latvia. Luka Dončić, who was showing off his shocking ability at such a young age of never allowing anyone to speed him up, would also highlight the other natural talent he possessed, as Kristaps, who had been tearing Slovenia's defense to shreds thanks to his 7'3" height, would end up drawing his 4th foul early on in the game's final period. Also, for context, in Europe, basically everywhere outside of the NBA, you only get 5 fouls because the game's 40 minutes long. Just thought I'd add that in there. Anyway. So, Luka began to hunt down Porziņģis.
Dončić, right at Porziņģis. He took it to him.
Knowing full well KP was unable to defend him aggressively.
Pulls back again, puts up a 3. Good! Again with Porziņģis. Don't tell me this man's not going number 1.
Thanks to the genius play of Dončić and the leadership of Goran Dragic, it was Slovenia moving on to the semi-final. But in their way of winning their first ever EuroBasket title was the Gasol brother-led Spain. So would this be the end of their championship journey? Spain, thanks to their size but slowness of their bigs, Mark and Pau Gasol, had no choice but to be less aggressive whilst guarding Slovenia's Wonderboy, an unfortunate fact which saw Dončić begin to surgically dissect their passive defense. Luka's amazing patience saw the court open up for not only himself, but his teammates. While Slovenia's rising star had only scored 11 points, his 12 rebound and 8 assists would see Luka help guide his country to the gold medal round against Balkan rivals, Serbia.
Now Dončić has gone down with an injury.
Which, once again, I'm very sorry if I pronounce any of these wrong. I am seriously trying my best. Slovenia's backup guard would somehow morph into a Slovenian Steph Curry during the game's final period. An insane, albeit unexpected performance, which not only saw Luka and his home country claim their first ever EuroBasket gold medal, but his teammate and mentor, Dragic, to say this.
Mark my words, he's gonna be one of the best in the whole world.
But this wasn't the only incredible thing the Wonderboy was gonna do in Europe. And you can do an incredible thing right now by hitting the like button. Thank you. May 20th, 2018. Real Madrid, thanks to the rise of their freshly crowned regular season MVP, had now made it all the way to the EuroLeague championship game. But standing in their way once again was Fenerbahce. Yet this time around, Dončić was prepared to avenge their failure from last year. Luka's ability to not only score, but use tricks such as his eyes to find teammates wide open.
The big man is set screen for him, but he goes away from it. Inside, there he is, wide open. Great moves by Luka Dončić, setting up Walter Tavares.
Would see Madrid get revenge over Fenerbahce. Luka Dončić, at just 19 years old, was a EuroLeague champion, Finals MVP, and regular season MVP. However, after entering his name into the 2018 NBA draft, scouts were unconvinced.
His feet is slower than rush hour traffic, okay? Really slow feet.
Really? That's a problem.
Really slow feet, and he's gonna have to guard the Jason Tatums, you know.
Well, that is, because I've heard people talk about him like he's gonna be bringing the ball up the court like he's a point.
No.
Like he's great in the pick and roll and all that.
He can play the pick and roll, but he's not a point guard. There's a difference between being point guard and being able to go off the ball.
He is a great passer.
He got good vision, but he still got slow feet, and those slow feet hurt him on the offensive end too. So his NBA comparison is Hedo Turkoglu.
Even after being chosen third by the Atlanta Hawks and eventually being traded to the Dallas Mavericks, the doubt that this European sensation could really translate his domination domination to American soil only continued.
Dončić at 6'7" will get exposed for all of the inadequacies that Dirk's not a great athlete.
No.
Dirk does have explosive quickness, right?
No.
Dirk isn't physical.
No.
Well, that's what's going to happen to Dončić.
Even his own teammate, Mavericks legend Dirk Nowitzki, was hesitant.
When he walked in the first time here in this practice facility, you know, he looked at he's a big boy, but I'm like, I'm not sure this is going to work. Is he quick enough? Is he athletic enough to go by guys like he is in Europe? And so there were plenty of doubts there from everybody on the team.
So would this be the end of Luka Dončić's story in the NBA? Would he, much like many dominant European stars, just end up back overseas? October 17th, 2018, Rick Carlisle, the Mavericks head coach, confused at where exactly to play a 6'8" point guard, decided to have his rookie start as the team's small forward.
At forward in his first season from Slovenia, number 77, Luka Dončić.
In fact, Carlisle had planned their offense around Dončić playing an off-the-ball role, with Dallas's other project guard, Dennis Smith Jr., leading the way. A decision which saw Luka struggle in a role he had never really played, finishing his debut having scored 10 points on 31% from the field and throwing 4 turnovers. However, what happened in their next game versus the Timberwolves would begin to change everything. As while Luka's coaching staff was unsure about where to put him, his teammates knew a secret.
I walked up to Wes, I'm like, man, y'all gonna let the white dude get the ball the whole game? That's crazy. He looked me dead in my face. He said, that mother cold.
Because Luka's size at 6'8" and 220 pounds allowed him to battle against the bigger NBA wings,
He's really fluent in Spanish as a second language.
as well as score over the smaller point guards without breaking a sweat.
Dončić. Rose, great defense.
Combine this with his unique ability to play at his own speed,
Kicks it for Dončić. Shot clock down to 4. Step back 3.
and Dončić had shown with his 26-point night on 50% shooting that he was actually capable of transferring his European success to America. In fact, as October was coming to a close, Rick Carlisle had quickly begun correcting his mistake. Dončić was showing that what was initially deemed a weakness was in reality his greatest strength. Yet, it was in another game versus one of the NBA's other teams from Texas in which Luka would highlight the American influence on his game.
I didn't really use the step back in Europe, but then I did it like against Houston in my first year, and they say, oh, you have a great step back, and since then I've been doing the step back. I didn't really like nobody.
You did it against Houston? Like you did it in the game? You hadn't practiced it really?
No, I never, like before I never really practiced the step back.
Dončić, who had been picking up brand new terminology,
I never heard the thing back since till I came to the NBA.
Plus tricks from the American guards, was beginning to truly dominate the league, resulting in some analysts being ready to name him as the future of the NBA already.
When you're 18 years old and you're the MVP of the second best league in the world, it goes to show you understand positionless basketball. His IQ is off the charts. He takes his time. And now we're actually starting to have the question about who is the point guard of the future. People are starting to say, well, actually, his PER is better when he's on the court alone as opposed to playing with Dennis Smith Jr. That just brings in a different type of player. He's a franchise player. He's the rookie of the year as of right now.
Then, just weeks later against the Denver Nuggets, Coach Carlisle had completely moved Dennis Smith Jr. out of their rotation. Luka Dončić was now the future of the Dallas Mavericks franchise, and it was during this battle where he showed exactly why.
So clever.
Jokic has 11 points in the first quarter. Up top, foul, alley-oop.
Because the Nuggets, after the Slovenia native tore up their defense, began to shift gears. Denver was now double-teaming the rookie guard, but Luka just continued to find the open man with ease. Dončić's season high of 12 assists, which he followed up by dropping 32 points against the Los Angeles Clippers, and then what he did in their pre-Christmas battle versus the Portland Trail Blazers.
Got it. There in the corner, Luka! Goes in! How did he do it? How did he do it? That is Luka magic!
Saw the Mavericks ready to make some shocking moves.
Let's get to the story everybody's been talking about over the last few hours, and that is the trade of the unicorn, Kristaps Porziņģis, who has voiced his displeasure with management in New York, wanted out, and gets his wish, traded with Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Courtney Lee to Dallas, and the Knicks get Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, and Wesley Matthews.
However, questions started to be raised. Could a slow, relatively unathletic player, even if he was just named as the NBA's Rookie of the Year, and a 7'3" big man who preferred to play on the perimeter more like a wing player, actually work? Especially considering how reliant Luka was on competing with a dominant screen setter and roller. Well, Donnie Nelson, the Dallas Mavericks general manager, hadn't just added. Nelson had acquired 2 shooters in Seth Curry and Delon Wright, as well as bringing in 7'4" Boban Marjanovic to back up Porziņģis. Additions which helped Dončić to achieve some crazy things during his sophomore NBA season. Luka would record a 42-point triple-double versus the San Antonio Spurs, a 41-point triple-double against the Detroit Pistons, 9 30 or more point triple-doubles, including one against the Los Angeles Lakers.
So Dončić, a fan is heckling him and he looks to see who it is, and it's Kobe Bryant.
He was talking Slovenian, so I was like, who's talking my language? And I saw Kobe and I was like really surprised. The first time I met him, the first thing he said to me, watch out, that they're gonna come after you because you're from Europe and they're gonna come after you. And he was right.
Plus, the Wonder Boys' 28.8 point, 9.4 rebound, and 8.8 assist averages would not only see Luka named to his first All-Star game, but be selected as a second-year player to the NBA first team, meaning Dončić was already considered as a top 5 player in the whole league. And you can become a top 5 person in my eyes by clicking subscribe. Thank you. Not only had Luka, who was barely out of his teenage years, just ripped the NBA to shreds, but he was getting ready for his first ever playoff series against the Los Angeles Clippers. August 17th, 2020, Luka Dončić, facing an array of elite NBA defenders, including Clippers guard Patrick Beverley, was again showing that what many considered to be a weakness, his weight, was in fact a strength.
He's physical as fuck and flops at the same time, which is the exact same thing I do. He initiates the contact, hits you, and it's not like, as basketball players, you can feel like, the muscle, and it's not muscle with him, and that's no, discredit to his body or anything, but that's just how he's made up. It's that kind of that flabby, solid type of, just leaning on you, and then you lean on the back, and he, put his heads up and put a lot of pressure on the referee, so you can't really guard him physically like the type of way I want to guard him. He did a good job of exploiting that, real good job.
Dončić's 42-point, 9 assist, and 7 rebound postseason debut performance was ultimately not enough, because Luka would record a shocking 11 turnovers in their Game 1 defeat, a fact which irked the Wonder Boy. Double-digit turnovers and losing was simply unacceptable. 2 days later, angered by his failure, Dončić entered Game 2 with vengeance.
Dončić on the drive. Boy, he can take so much.
Whether it was hitting tough stepbacks over one of the NBA's greatest defenders, Kawhi Leonard, or using his ability to never be rushed,
They let get away. What a setup by Dončić.
it's clear Luka only had one thing on his mind: winning. A thought that after he scored 28 points and threw 7 assists, whilst only turning the ball over once, that became reality. So could he do it again in Game 3? August 21st, 2020.
Dončić is down and limping. That left leg, left ankle, left calf. He obviously brushes that off. Chris, he comes back and he's going to try to give it a go in this fourth quarter.
I could run a little bit, but I couldn't push up my left leg, so it was better to go out and let somebody play.
The Mavericks seemed to be done, or were they? Game 4, Luka was suited up and ready to will his Mavericks to victory. And while he did do the usual Dončić stuff fans were used to seeing, the Wonder Boy brought out something new.
I just call it the slow step, I didn't practice that. Go into defender a little bit, and then just slow step. wait till he's gonna jump. And if he don't jump, you just go up.
However, the Slovenia native's mind-blowing 40-point, 17 rebound and 13 assist performance is just 3.7 seconds away from meaning nothing.
Back to Dončić. Dončić pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Dončić wins the game at the buzzer!
However, LA, one of the favorites to win the 2020 NBA championship, was simply too experienced to let some rising star send them back home to Los Angeles empty-handed. Dončić's 30-point, 8.5 rebound, and 6.5 assist average over the next 2 games simply wasn't enough. But Dallas, despite this disappointing reality, had laid the foundation of what would hopefully become a championship-winning franchise in the very near future. At least, that was the plan. June 6th, 2021, Dallas, after holding a 3-2 lead against the Clippers in this season's first-round matchup, had completely choked their chance to move on in Game 6, meaning they had to win tonight, otherwise their epic season would be over. Therefore, Dončić was doing everything, from shocking step-backs,
Dončić again, puts it in, Luka Dončić.
Showing off his impeccable patience and footwork in the paint.
Dončić against Morris, nice footwork, bank shot is good.
And surgically dissecting the Clippers defense. However, Luka's jaw-dropping stat line of 46 points, 14 assists, and 7 rebounds just wasn't enough for the Mavericks.
It's tough when it's the same rival. You obviously don't want to lose again. And like I say, we have to come back next year, look at these playoffs, what we did good, what we did wrong, and just keep going from there.
A loss, which was a huge turning point in the franchise's direction. As due to issues between Kristaps and Rick Carlisle, which saw Porziņģis literally refusing to play hard or even try.
At that point still I was a little bit young and I was like doing it, how you say, like out of spite, like, oh, on purpose I will not move from this corner, like that little bit of mindset, and it was not correct. But of course I played hard and I gave everything on defense, but a little bit of that was creeping up on me, that kind of feeling, and it's not a good feeling to play with. And
saw some shocking moves occur. Both general manager Donnie Nelson and head coach Rick Carlisle would step down from their roles. And team owner Mark Cuban had an exciting announcement to make of who exactly would be replacing them, hiring former championship-winning Dallas Mavericks point guard Jason Kidd to be their head coach, and selecting an executive from Nike to hold the team's general manager role.
Nico Harrison, our new general manager and president of basketball operations.
Nico Harrison's first task was to ensure Dončić remained in Dallas long-term. Luka would then sign a Supermax extension, giving him at least 5 more years as a Maverick, where he would try and chase his one true dream.
I want to win a championship here, so it's our goal. Every season is the same goal, but it's a lot of work to do. There's so many great teams in this league. Anybody can beat you at this point. So you gotta be really ready.
However, as the 2021-2022 season began, serious issues arose once again for Dončić.
I yelled to my wife, Ernestine, you got to come in here and look at this. Look at Luka's face. He's got a fat face.
Yes.
Is that not a fat face?
Yes.
He's just fat. He's got big old jowls.
Yes.
He's got puffy chipmunk cheeks, right?
Yes. This is bad.
It's just bad.
I'm very disappointed. Luka, you are a professional athlete. He's 20, 30 pounds out of shape.
Yet the Slovenian native, who had been representing his home country at the Olympics over the offseason, owned his mistake publicly.
I had a long summer, like I'm saying, I had the Olympics, 3 weeks off, and then I said I relaxed a little bit, maybe too much, and I just gotta get back on track.
And as 2022 arrived, the Wonder Boy was back on track.
Left side of the floor, Luka's three is a ring.
To make things even better for Luka, Nico Harrison began making moves to further improve their roster.
according to our Tim McMahon and Adrian Wojnarowski, the Mavs, they're trading Kristaps Porzingis to the Wizards for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans.
A trade which resulted in the former Rookie of the Year dropping a new career high of 51 points against rival club, the Clippers, just 2 days after
Pingus.
left, and then following this insane night up with 49 points against the New Orleans Pelicans.
The swag he played with is crazy. Like I think the best part is when he starts calling out what he's gonna do.
No way.
Because it takes like, you gotta be really nice to do that.
Like
that's
some Larry Bird.
Oh yeah, like I'm finna go down, I'm gonna post up one leg fake. Like, yeah, watch what I do to him.
Dončić would round out his 2021-2022 season having 5 15-assist games against the 76ers, Bucks, Nuggets, Spurs, and Blazers, recording 10 triple-doubles and leading Dallas to hold the 4th seed in the Western Conference. So would this finally be the season Luka Dončić carries his Mavericks to the promised land? April 23rd, 2022. After sitting out the first 3 matchups due to a calf strain, Luka was finally ready to return and help the Mavericks solidify a 3-1 lead over their opponent, the Utah Jazz. Which, after he hit a clutch fadeaway,
Dončić against Bogdanović, fakes the spin, the fade, and he sticks it.
used his OP slow step,
Dončić inside, he puts it down.
And then drained a 3 over former Defensive Player of the Year, Jazz big man Rudy Gobert seemed like a done deal. However, incredible plays from Donovan Mitchell,
Mitchell coming baseline, left it short, gets it back, contact, and he puts it down.
and Rudy Gobert
15 seconds. Here comes Mitchell, Gobert!
plus Dallas failing at the free throw line would see it all come down to this.
House, Utah out of fouls. Dončić trying to find a man. He's got Dinwiddie. Well short. And Utah survives. And they've tied the series.
Perhaps Luka Dončić was never gonna make it out of the first round, because during Game 6, Utah's head coach Quinn Snyder had made some huge changes to how they were guarding the Slovenian sensation. The Jazz were now sending double team after double team, which for most players would completely take them out of their game, but not for Luka.
Yeah, I think when they blitz, it's easier for our team to win, because when I blitz, I take it out more of the pick and roll, so the other guy has a long way to go, so it's basically 4-on-3 basketball. So it gets other people going, which is better.
Yeah.
I think every time they blitz, the more times they blitz, we won more games.
However, with 4.3 seconds remaining, Utah had one last chance to try and save their season.
Neal throwing in, and they open it up. Good play. Bogdanović, pump fake, a 3. It's no good. Dallas rebounds, and that's it. The playoff drought is over. Bogdanović has missed it, and the Mavericks have won the game, 98-96, and they win the series 4-2.
Oh my God. I'm just really happy to go past first round.
So now that Dončić had broken free of his first round curse, could they go one better and make it to the Western Conference Finals? May 10th, 2022, the Dallas Mavericks, after an embarrassing 30-point defeat to the Phoenix Suns, were just a single game away from being eliminated from championship contention. To make things worse, the Suns, who were by far the favorite to make it back to the NBA Finals after losing in the previous season to the Bucks, made sure every team they played knew about it. But as Luka headed back to their locker room, down 2-3, he said this. 2 days later, Dončić, fueled by the constant barrage of trash talk coming from the Phoenix Suns.
Somebody, try to test you, it gets me going. It actually helps me. So, but like I say, I'm just competitive and everything.
Was motivated to shut them all up. Anger, which saw Luka have yet another incredible postseason performance, in which the now 3-time All-NBA first-team member would score 33 points and throw 8 assists in their victory. Meaning, it all came down to this. Game 7, win or go home. A moment in which true champions, true competitors don't just perform, but find another gear when one doesn't even exist. So the Slovenian point guard would go out and not only score his team's first 8 points, but by halftime, Luka had dropped 27, the exact same amount that the whole Phoenix Suns team had scored in the same time period.
I remember we were playing Phoenix, they were talking so much, telling us we better make the playoffs, we ain't gonna make the playoffs. We out of the playoffs, but y'all, this is a disgrace, bro. Like, y'all.
At halftime, I was like, please, everybody lock in. Let's not blow this lead.
Let's not.
I was nervous at halftime, I'm not gonna lie.
Dončić, regardless of Chris Paul hitting a huge dagger to cut the lead to 42, had done it. His 35-point heroics meant his Mavericks were moving on to the Western Conference Finals.
What does this mean to you personally and for the franchise?
Honestly, I'm really happy, man. You can't get this smile off my face right now. I'm just really happy, you know.
However, once Dallas arrived in the penultimate round, the Golden State Warriors, a team hell-bent on extending their dynasty into another decade, simply couldn't be stopped. Not even a 32-point, 9.2 rebound, and 6-assist average from the Mavericks superstar was enough, as Steph Curry and his Warriors demolished Dallas in just 5 games. But the Mavericks were definitely moving in the right direction.
How do you feel about the path this franchise is on to make that possible?
I mean, great. Honestly, great. I think we're a young team. Bowen is always... He looks young. But I think great. I think this year we made a huge step. Maybe a couple steps. And, you know, I think we're on a great way. Obviously, there's a lot of things to do. But I think like I say, you know, we made a huge step. And I think we're on a great path.
They had their superstar and valuable role players in Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, Reggie Bullock, and Jalen Brunson.
More breaking NBA news. Jalen Brunson intends to sign a 4-year deal with the Knicks.
Never mind, they don't have Jalen Brunson anymore. Therefore, without a true backup guard or second option that could lead the offense, everything now revolved solely around Luka Dončić. Which, while it did lead to insane performances such as the one on December 27th, 2022, where Luka did this.
Nothing shocks me about this game.
And that drew rim, it's still loose, Luka got it back!
Yeah, I actually thought we won. It was 2 points.
So maybe you aren't that smart.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, I actually thought it was only...
You thought it was a 1-point game?
I don't know what I thought, but
so
I thought
it was a 1-point game and you missed the free throw.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know what was happening. I actually thought we won. Because then I went there to celebrate it. And then I think Siwood tells me, you know, it's a tie game.
And then rounded out this epic battle with a 60-point triple-double. The Mavericks were facing some very serious problems. Their team was barely over 500, and even if the chemistry between Dončić and his squad was rising...
What's something that's annoying about Luka? Could be good or bad.
He take all my slang, like everything I say, trash talking, you try to use it against me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything. Down to no cap, he don't even know what it mean last year. and he was saying it after everything. Or I'd be like, say less, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And he started taking everything I said and started saying, like, bro.
When he said that to us, he said say less to us.
Yeah, come on, bro. You don't even know what that means.
Their record was falling. So, once again, a huge move had to be made by Nico Harrison.
Let's talk about the trade. So Kyrie Irving dealt to the Dallas Mavericks along with Markieff Morris for Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, 2029 first-round pick. I believe it's unprotected. And I think some second-round picks.
2 second-round picks. Yeah.
But after losing most of their depth to acquire the greatest ball handler of all time, Dallas just kept getting worse. Their defense ranked as one of the lowest in the whole league, and due to not wanting to lose their lottery pick to the New York Knicks thanks to the Kristaps Porzingis trade, the Mavericks were forced to sit both Kyrie and Luka in an effort to miss the playoffs on purpose.
That loss eliminates Dallas from play-in tournament contention, which certainly seemed like it was already trending in that direction. given the events of this most unusual day.
A decision which saw the franchise be fined $750,000. Yet, this citation wasn't viewed as a punishment by the Mavericks front office. No, it was looked at as an investment. But why?
With the 10th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cason Wallace from the University of Kentucky.
Dallas, having retained their pick, would select guard Cason Wallace before trading this selection to Oklahoma City in exchange for their 12th choice, super athletic big man Derek Lively II. However, only adding Kyrie Irving and a big man didn't solve Dallas's issues, a point proven by what happened on January 26, 2024. Because against the Atlanta Hawks, it literally didn't matter what type of defense their new head coach Quinn Snyder threw at Dončić.
The biggest just in the drop. There's a lot of playmaking there. The old Gortat screen, it's efficient.
I want to explain this Gortat screen. So the big is in a drop. You turn the corner on the pick. Your defender's behind you.
Yeah,
the roller, you put him in jail. The roller, then instead of rolling to the basket, rolls into the defender in drop coverage and essentially sets a little brush screen. And sometimes they will fully set the screen.
Luka was literally too smart for any style of coverage.
You know what's the first thing I look? Who's under the basket? If it's a big or it's a small. Then I look if he's already been in the paint and he gotta get out. Or if he's outside the paint and he can get in. So I think those are the first two things I look. And then just the way, the defense is playing me, which way. Normally they send me right now or left, I don't know. Now I try to drive the ball because, they're going to collapse and somebody's going to be open.
Even if they tried to slow him down and limit him to playing one-on-one, he just kept cooking.
But then if they switch, I'm just trying to go downhill. I know there's going to be always a low man. Sometimes I just stagger a little bit on the threes, on the step backs. But I got to be more downhill because, I can get downhill a lot, and when I touch the paint, I think our team is at best is scoring.
In fact, by halftime, Dončić had scored a shocking 41 points. However, despite the Slovenian native ballooning this total to 73,
the most efficient 70-point game in NBA history with a true shooting percentage of 91%.
Dallas had barely escaped this battle with just a 5-point victory, a stat which proved just how reliant the Mavericks were on Luka Dončić. Therefore, Nico Harrison got to work. The acquisition of a solid two-way wing in PJ Washington Jr. and a big man in Daniel Gafford was exactly what Dallas needed.
We had some size to our team. We had a backup center, which I wanted 3 years already, so I think both players really going to help us out a lot.
Moves which saw the Mavericks in their final 29 games go on to win 20, plus improving their defensive rating to being the best in the whole league over the final 15 games of the regular season. But it wasn't only the team succeeding, as Luka Dončić, mainly due to the fact that for the whole season the team's scoring load was pretty much on his shoulders, had averaged 33.9 points, a total high enough to see him earn the NBA scoring title and be named to the NBA first team for the 5th season in a row. However, awaiting Dončić and his refreshed Maverick side in the playoffs was an old rival, the Los Angeles Clippers. But this time around, Luka was confident.
What's different this time around than the first two times that you've obviously played them going into this matchup?
Throughout this first round battle, let's just get to the point, Luka cooked them.
Dončić lines it up. It goes! He is that guy! 90-81.
Just completely fried LA.
I mean, it's always his pace. Yeah. It's always been his pace. It's never been a game be like, okay, well, you can speed me up. He can speed me up. Okay, this bigger guy can be more physical. Okay, the smaller guy can get up underneath me. It's like he moves at his own pace. And he's never, ever been on the floor where he's allowed someone to dictate where they're going to put him on the floor. It's always been the opposite.
The third time, like the cliche says, was really the charm for Luka. However, what happened on May 7th, 2024 would completely shock everyone. Because for what seemed to be the first time in a very long time, Dončić was struggling against their opponent, the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Slovenian star only managed to score 19 points on a horrible 6 of 19 from the field, as well as throwing 5 turnovers. But while Luka could have very easily blamed the knee injury which he was battling through, he didn't.
Luka, obviously, we've talked about your knee. Oklahoma City is a good defense. When you look at your shooting night, what went into that?
Who cares? We lost, man. We just got to move on to the next one. I got to be better. We got to be better, and just, we're known for game 1 struggling, but we got to focus.
In fact, in game 2, it didn't matter that he was visibly in pain. Luka's 29 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds was exactly what his Dallas Mavericks needed to succeed.
Our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think? Okay, moving on.
I think today was one of the hardest games I had to play. I'm battling out there. I try and do my best to help the team win. But just my mentality, have a great start, and then team is gonna follow me. So they follow me and Kai, and we got to do that.
Dončić's leadership would then go on to inspire the rest of his teammates. And by the end of game 3, it was Dallas who held the vital 2-1 lead against the number 1 seeded OKC.
Who's gonna carry the boats?
So could they continue their success in game 4 and be just a single win away from the Western Conference Finals? Or would their next game be the start of the end? Luka, who has struggled all game long to score due to the defensive focus of Oklahoma City, has a chance to redeem himself after being fouled with 10.1 seconds remaining and down 2. With both Dončić and PJ Washington missing key attempts from the line,
the Thunder win the battle in Dallas to tie this series at 2-2.
2 days later, the 5-time All-NBA first-team athlete would spend this whole game logged into something he had seemingly forgotten about.
I was focused on playing basketball. Remember the thing I love to do, playing with my teammates, was the old Luka. So with a smile on my face.
And it was this mindset shift which saw Dončić do some insane things. As while his stat line was, as usual, impressive, 31 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds, it's what he said at the end of Game 5 which was truly crazy. A point which he ensured he backed up by absolutely demolishing OKC in Game 6. Luka would record his 3rd triple-double in a row, and despite a very shaky end to this battle, it was the Dallas Mavericks returning once again to the Western Conference Finals. But could they actually go one further and make it to the championship round this time? Or was their opponent, the Anthony Edwards-led Minnesota Timberwolves, going to be too much? May 24th, 2024. The Mavericks are down 2 points with 12.8 seconds remaining, and if Luka Dončić fails to step up right now, their opponent will have tied up the series at 1 game apiece.
You have the defensive player of the year on you.
I mean, he's long, he can't move. I can't move fast, but I can move faster than him. So, like I said, just get too much fire.
Dončić maneuvers for the lead. Got it! What a shot! Dallas has taken the lead. It's off to Edwards, setting up. 3 lead. No! Dallas has won. The Mavericks go up 2-0, and Dončić with the game winner.
But it wasn't just in the two franchises' second battle where the Slovenian native was dominating.
What the hell is wrong with Luka? I'm talking about his style. It's kind of like street ball mixed in with the street ball. And then I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way. No, he plays like a black guy.
Ah, gotcha. He has
that man got style.
Let me fix it. He has swag.
He got swag.
Yeah.
Dončić's 32.2 point, 10.7 rebound, 6.7 assist, and 2.3 steal averages would see the Mavericks finally go one further and make it all the way to the NBA Finals. However, their opponent, the Boston Celtics, were simply too well built and well oiled to ever consider losing in this final round. It didn't matter to Boston that Luka's insane all-around play continued, because 29.2 points, 8.8 rebounds, 5.6 assists, and 2.6 steals were nowhere near enough to carry his franchise.
I mean, I want to be a champion, and that's all you can think about after you lose, and it was devastating. It was a hard moment, especially that first week, going through your mind, like you lost. You've been there, you could have won, but you lost, so just going through that was hard.
Yet, despite this heartbreaking failure, once again, Dallas had clearly built a championship contending team. Perhaps all they really needed was another season to further build their chemistry. Dallas fans, with Luka sharing this,
what do you say to those fans who are worried about you not sticking in Dallas long term?
I don't think they're worried about it right now. You know, I got 5 years left here, so I don't think they should be worried about it.
And finding out this.
What are you hearing? Jay, Klay Thompson is on his way to the Dallas Mavericks. I'm told a 3-year, $50 million deal that'll include a player option. It's a sign and trade with the Warriors.
Were ecstatic. Their same squad, who had just made it all the way to the finals, had just added a 4-time champion. The sky truly seemed to be the limit for the 2024-2025 Mavericks. Or was it? Because once again, Dončić would arrive to training camp overweight. His offseason, which was spent recovering from the countless injuries he endured during the team's NBA Finals run, saw Luka balloon up to 260 pounds. An unacceptable fact for the Mavericks front office. So, under the guise of a wrist injury, Dončić was shut down for an 11-day period to get back in shape. But upon returning, the 5-time NBA All-Star would tragically suffer a calf injury on Christmas Day, an ailment which Dallas's brand new training staff believed their star could recover from in 2 to 3 weeks. Meanwhile, Luka's own personal training staff saw it as a minimum of a month and a half before he could even return to the court. So, after much debate, a return date was set, February 8th, 2025. However, as this day approached, Nico Harrison wanted Dončić to travel with the squad on their upcoming road trip. That way, Luka could ramp up his on-court play. But the Maverick star wished to remain in Dallas, so he could have access to their training facility, which was loaded with crucial equipment for his recovery. Then, after compromising and offering to train on court with the Mavs G League team, the Texas Legends, Luka Dončić and his camp heard nothing from Nico Harrison until...
Breaking news on SportsCenter this morning, the Lakers and Mavericks making it a blockbuster night. Luka Dončić headed to the Lakers, Anthony Davis headed to the Mavericks in a seismic trade that shakes up the reigning Western Conference champion Mavs and gives LeBron James in Los Angeles a 25-year-old superstar who's been All-NBA first team for 5 straight years.
First thing I said, probably 3 times, is April 1st. And I was in shock.
You hang up the phone the night you're traded, and you threw it?
Yes.
Do you have that phone?
Yeah.
What were you feeling in that moment?
Sadness, mostly. I was still in shock, crazy shock, and I felt like my heart was broken, honestly.
Was your intention to finish your career in Dallas?
Of course. I gave everything to that franchise. I played through a lot of injuries. A lot of people don't know. Never asked for nothing, small things, and I had a great time, honestly. It was the first team that drafted me. The trade happened in the draft, but I came there as a kid when I was 18. I didn't know what to expect from NBA. I don't know I'll be good and bad, so they gave me the opportunity. I really appreciate it. I just wish Kobe and Gigi were here to see this moment. And I'm excited about this new journey, and happy to be here.
So many emotions, can't even explain it. Brought tears to my eyes. Like I said, I came as a young kid here with 18, and not knowing what to expect from NBA, and they made me feel like home. And It's just a lot of great memories.
An emotionally distraught Dončić would end this regular season return to Dallas having scored 45 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, and thrown 6 assists.
How were you able to not be too emotional, to still come out and play and perform the way you did?
I don't know how I did it, because when I was watching that video, I was like, there's no way I'm playing this game. But you know, all my teammates had my back. They were really supporting me, so I really appreciate that.
Now that his return to Dallas was out of the way, Luka Dončić set his sights on a new goal, bringing a championship to Los Angeles. As the 2024-2025 regular season came to a close, the Slovenian megastar, playing alongside new teammates in LeBron James,
Are you a bronzexual?
Austin Reeves, and the rest of LA's supporting cast would help guide the Lakers to a 52-win and 30-loss season. Their first challenge on their road to a 2025 title, the same team Dončić had brutally torn to pieces just a year ago, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yet, this time around, regardless of what Shannon Sharpe said,
guess what, Stephen A? The Thunder, a Boost Mobile bundle, WWE Royal Rumble. Lakers in 5.
And the fact that Dončić kept destroying Rudy Gobert.
And when Luka sees the big on him, his eyes get like this. So now Luka backs up. He backs up because he's now, okay, I'm about to get into my shit.
Los Angeles would tragically exit the 2025 playoffs in just the first round after 5 games.
And obviously sadness. I think I didn't play the way I should. I think as a team we didn't play the way we could. But I think congratulations to Minnesota. They play hell of a series. They were the better team, honestly.
While we don't know what's in store for the remainder of Dončić's incredible professional career, one thing is for sure, the LA Lakers are gonna do whatever they can to help their brand new megastar achieve his dream, whether that's signing him to contract extensions or bringing in new talent to suit his style on the court. It's highly likely that Luka Dončić will be rounding out his career having earned, at the very least, a single championship with the NBA's most historic franchise. Also, I usually ask you about your favorite player moment on the court, but today I'd like you to share your favorite Luka Dončić moment off the court. For me, it's always going to be this clip.
Boban, 2 lines, please. Boban.
So if you agree or think something else, please comment it below. By the way, did you know that the NBA's greatest shooter, Stephen Curry, is also its greatest showboater? In fact, Curry is so good at celebrating after he destroys teams that other athletes from sports all over the planet copy his celebrations. So if you want to learn just how Stephen Curry became so dominant and where all these incredible showboats came from, click the video on your screen right now.